Hey, Gator Nation, welcome back to Respect Our Decision, Pod of the People, our YouTube exclusive show that we do each and every week where we take the questions that you send us and provide our answers, our opinions to. And we appreciate you as always doing that. As always, I'm your boy Hirsch. With me is the hype man, Wes,
What's good, Gator Nation? What's good?
and CJ, the man, McCann.
What's up, guys?
Hey, guys, if you haven't already, this is your first time checking us out on YouTube. Maybe just stumbled upon us somehow. The algorithm just threw us out there into your universe. If you like what you see, man, go ahead, drop a subscribe on the channel, drop a like on the video, and leave us a question or comment for next week's show down below. We'll try to read that off. And as always, guys, thank you as always for all your engagements. We appreciate it. Wes, what's our first question this week?
All right. The first question for you, CJ, is from Jared White. He says a few weeks ago there was some smoke about Nikar, wide receiver commit from UGA, wanted to visit us. Has that smoke faded?
I guess I haven't heard anything. The only thing I knew Nikar was here for was like a 7-on-7 deal, and he was just here to play football. I'm sure that doesn't mean that we didn't, talk to him or try to convince him. I don't know. I haven't heard anything as far as anything concrete to say, yeah, Nikar is coming. Could he be a guy that shows up at the cookout? For sure. I could see that happening. But as far as like anything concrete that I could share, I don't know. But definitely I know that the staff has not stopped committing Nikar this whole time. There's a lot of talk that's come up multiple times, his name. So anything's possible, but as far as anything, really solid that I could share, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that one's happening either. I think that was just a brief, feather in the wind.
All right, Hirsch, this is from Justin Cadero. He says, any new names that you all seeing that you feel we have an actual shot for? Also, there were some names early in the process we used to see a lot of, and now no more. Any updates on those? So if you can just hit a few names on both sides of those questions if you want.
A name that we talked about in our main show that you don't really hear banded around very often. It's not something that's really covered a lot. Jordan Seaton, offensive lineman at IMG, number 43 overall in the composite. He's a kid honestly, updates on him are very quiet. You don't hear a whole lot about them. Keep an eye on him. He will probably be the one big time offensive lineman that we push for. If by the we miss on Fletcher Westfall on Monday the 10th, that would be a name to keep an eye on. Another one on the offensive side of the ball we mentioned on our main show, TJ Moore, that committed to Clemson. Don't quite give up on him yet. That's a kid that I think we'll double back around to if we haven't already kept the communications open for. Defensively, I really don't have any names for you that you haven't heard about. I mean, we don't talk a lot about Kendall Jackson, but he's committing on the 20th. And as of now, I would say that the Gators probably are favored to land that commitment out of Buckholz High School right there in Gainesville. Otherwise, I mean, there's not on defense, especially they're very zeroed in on the guys that they want for the last remaining 4 to 5 spots on that side of the ball, if they even take that many more kids. And I think they land most of the ones that they want.
All right, CJ, this is a good one. Justin again says, you think we get any scholarship kickers or punters in this class?
I don't think so. I would be surprised. We haven't heard anything. It feels like to me if we're going to get a scholarship kicker and punter, and I guess you could maybe see that happen in December, January with kids. It seems like when you get those guys like Eddie Pinheiro, it came pretty late. So that definitely could happen, but I don't think so right now. I mean, you still got Trey Smack, who's pretty young. We're not super, super high on Trey Smack right now. Granted, he hasn't played a ton, but maybe there's a reason for that. I don't know. I haven't heard anything as far as a punter or a kicker that we would be looking at taking. So, definitely for me, I always, keep that stuff in the back of my mind because I remember watching Chas Henry try to kick field goals, and we had open tryouts for kickers when Mr. Austin Harden couldn't kick his way out of a paper sack. So I worry about that. I don't want to ever be in the spot where we don't have any reliable kickers at all. So definitely something that I would keep my eyes open for. But as of right now, I haven't heard any buzz on anybody.
I don't think we have the scholarships to do it. I mean,
I
it's
don't.
just
I agree. I don't. I think that's definitely something that's playing into it.
All right, Hirsch, this next one is for you. This is a good one as well. He says, and this is just speculation, Hirsch, estimation for December. He says, what is your gut feeling of the final ranking as we head into July? And who do we need to get there?
final ranking.
I like that.
I really want to say 4, but I'm going to hedge this and I'm going to say 5 or 6, just because you haven't seen Alabama make their move yet. You're seeing a lot of traction lately with Texas A&M. I think if we want to be 4 or somewhere in there, you're going to have to get one of Jeremiah Smith or Jordan Ross, coupled with getting Seaton that we talked about a second ago. You're going to have to get one more good receiver, and then you're going to have to get Mincy, McCray, Jamari Howard possibly. I mean, the path is there, but you're going to have to, especially when we talk about offensive line, you're going to have to bat better than you've been batting already. You're going to have to finish this class without many misses. So I want us to be 4, in that 4 spot. I think 5 or 6 is very likely.
Gotcha. All right. CJ, this is from Devin Harris. He says, what is your gut feel? Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Marshall Dupree said, give me you guys' honest take on the Georgia situation. Do you think the article from AJC will get enough people looking in the direction to crumble Kirby's house of cards?
I'm glad that I got this question because I live in Georgia, and let me tell you right now. Let me tell you right now, people don't give a crap.
Not one single
they
solitary.
do not care. Georgia fans, I've known Georgia fans. They are the most holier than thou people until it comes to their team. I know one in particular who just was up in arms that Mr. Caleb Williams painted F Texas on his fingernails. But when stuff like this happens, crickets. You don't hear anything about it. They don't care. They sweep it under the rug and they move on. The only way that this could ever do anything to Kirby is if the NCAA got involved, and they're about as useless as tits on a boar hog at this point. They're not doing anything. So
let me add something from someone that lived most of my life in Atlanta as well. The only thing that Georgia fans who run the state of Georgia, I'm going to just put that out there, hate
they don't
more
have FSU or Miami in their
that
state
hate more
writing
Georgia
chronicles
Tech
either.
is the AJC. Nobody in the damn state of Georgia that likes sports likes the AJC or anything they do. They think all the writers are biased, and a lot of times they are.
Sure.
They don't care for anything that comes out of that publication. They've hated the AJC as long as they've hated Auburn.
Mm-hmm. The old mullet wrappers, they let me call it. I mean, and like I said, when I talked about this with Florida, and this is the way, and Alabama suffers from it too with Auburn. There is no major rival to Georgia in the state. There isn't a major rival faction to bring any of this to light in a publication the way you have to deal with in Florida, where every Florida State writer and every Miami writer is going to bring up as much negative press. You can look at Matt Baker in Tampa. You can look at any of these writers. They come after you. The thing with Georgia and LSU, those are the two that come to my mind. They don't deal with any of that because they don't have any rival fan bases that run articles, that run news publications in their state. So you're really not fighting against anything. Georgia's winning, and I'll tell you this: if I was a Georgia fan, I'd probably be on their side too, because I know what the alternative is. Georgia fans have seen the alternative. It's getting your ass whooped by every rival you have for the last 30 years. Now they're finally winning. I understand it.
And let's be honest, we had the same thing going on here 2007, 2008, 2009, and people were running articles about the things that were happening. And we as fans then, I remember it very well, made excuses for all of it. Like it wasn't no big deal because we were winning. Like CJ said, winning makes all that stuff, that pill, easier to swallow. It just does. And unless somebody federal or the NCAA, which doesn't give two shits, gets involved, nothing's happening.
I heard this from Ryan Gurn. He said, anybody stick out from the crop of the 2025 recruits that attended Friday Night Lights? I know for the most part, the event was overshadowed by the College World Series. There's a lot of buzz I've heard around Burnell Brown III and Brandon Brown being some guys staff really put a focus on both being legacy guys.
Vernell, yeah, especially, and that's a question that I'm going to go ahead and merge right here because Lucas asked that same question under our comments in the last week's video if he could commit soon. Honestly, I don't have a timetable on Vernell Brown, but I know that the staff loves him. Obviously, legacy kid, a kid that we absolutely love. So I know that they're really going to make him a priority, but don't have a timetable on him. Other than that, man, I'm telling you, the buzz out of Friday Night Lights was very ho-hum. There just wasn't a whole lot of stuff because that also was because they were having the camp at IMG at the same time. And a lot of kids were over at IMG for that top 100 camp that they were having over there on the same weekend. So it kind of watered us down a little bit. The biggest thing that I saw out of Friday Night Lights, was Darius Hayes shutting down his recruitment, and the videos that came out of Micah Burrow running drills at 360 to 380 pounds. I mean, we'll figure out 25. I'm sure that there's going to be some movement in 25 before much, much longer. I wouldn't be surprised if we got something at the barbecue, maybe. But right now, not a whole lot. Just not a whole lot.
Right. Superhawks just did the praying hands. Thank you for that. Blessing us. Bo Dolls for you, CJ. He says, we lost another lineman to the Pups. Is it NIL? We don't offer enough. Coaches can't sell it, or do they like being stuck in the development purgatory forever? She's is getting frustrating.
Who is he? Who is you referring to? Do you guys?
This was yesterday.
A lineman to the Ogboko. Is he talking defensive line? Ogboko was the guy.
We lost Callaway to. I think Callaway went to LSU. That was the only lineman that we lost.
I don't know. I don't. I'll speak again to. Georgia has a massive class right now. They are just taking kids left and right. Kids, they're the hot team. They're the different team. You saw this with all the teams that would like show up. Clemson did this. LSU's done this. Florida State did this. We were doing it at one point. Alabama's been there. At some point, you just become the popular team. You just do. Georgia's winning. You want to go win. And they've got a good coaching staff. Until we prove that we are on that level where you have, you look at like the video with our friend Mr. Hall. When you have the way he's portraying us as we don't produce defensive linemen.
Was a lie.
Which is a lie because we've produced the defensive linemen in 12 straight drafts. More than anybody else. When you end up going to these schools, and this is the stuff that Georgia's telling them, and these kids aren't exactly going to run to Google and fact check everything. So you have things like that where you have to get in their ear, and you have to really sell the vision that, hey, we understand that things haven't looked great, but we're trying to get it, back to where it was. Georgia's selling a finished product. They're not selling a vision. They're saying, hey, you want to win a national championship, you come to Athens. You want to go to the NFL, you come to Athens. And right now, we can't really sell that. It sucks. I understand what people say because, again, you look at Georgia as a team that for the last 30 years prior, we beat them like a rented mule. But things change. It's cyclical. They're up. And how long? I wish I could tell you that they're not going to be on the up for much longer because that would be really good for me to feel. But that's not true. I don't think that there's any end in sight to what Georgia's doing, barring Kirby Smart retiring or trying his hand at the NFL. So we're just going to have to get better ourselves and beat them at their own game, because I don't think preying on their downfall is going to get us anywhere.
All right, Hirsch, I skipped over one of Justin's questions. This is a gap. He said, Justin Wood, he said, what do you enjoy more, Florida's O-line recruiting or your wife's honeydew list?
Jesus God. Well, I'm going to be very fair right here. She doesn't give me very many honeydew lists. I just do the damn thing. Rob Sell's about to get some honeydew lists if he don't hurry the hell up and get me some high quality offensive line. Yeah, I enjoy the honeydew list a lot more than offensive line recruiting right now, but I'm gonna let it cook. And I'm gonna see some results on the field as well. I've heard good things about Najee Harris. I've heard good things about Kearney. So we're gonna see. But he damn well better develop better than he recruits. That's all I can say.
Yeah, if we're talking 2 or 3 all-conference guys at the end of or that level, they might not be all-conference, but you could sit here and say these are two or three of the best linemen in the SEC, then I think that completely changes our outlook. I think it changes your tune. But right now, based on what we saw at the end of the season last year, aside from Osiris Torrance and what you saw in the spring game, you're really not as hopeful at the moment. And then you compound that with
I like Barber.
Lackluster recruiting. And I think we do. And I think there's spots. We like Barber. We like, even though we haven't seen much of him, Mazuka's a solid prospect. Definitely has gotten, between the injury and stuff, you don't hear as much, but he's definitely was a solid prospect. Keontae Goodwin. There's some guys for sure that you like. I've heard good stuff about Kingsley being able to step up so far in camps and stuff and look better. That alone, might buy me some brownie points if Mr. Kingsley and Godwin comes out there and starts really doing a great job at center. But it's just a lot of nothing going on right now. So all you can go on is what you saw last, which isn't very good. Yeah, you got to show it to me.
All right, CJ, this is from Tim Fondre. He said, will we get another running back, and who do you think it will be?
If we get another running back, I don't think we're going to get one in recruiting. I think that we're going to get one in the portal. I don't know who it'll be in the portal, but it would not shock me to see one of the Florida kids from names past that might be on a little lower on a depth chart. Maybe you have a high profile recruit coming in. He might feel a little shoved out. You can definitely see that kid turn around and change. Maybe one of the Louisiana kids that Billy Napier knows.
I thought you were about to tell us Bowman was coming back.
He might. We're waiting on him. Just add another school to it. Why not? Just jump around. But no, I think that we're going to see somebody in the portal. And the portal is so hard to predict because there's so many moving parts to it that you really can't make a good assessment of it until you get to the season at least. But I think that if we're going that route based on the experience in the running back room, it makes more sense to get a portal back who's been playing for 2 or 3 years.
All right, Hirsch, this one is from we got to run on Justin Wood. He just dropped his last 4 questions as he knew we were doing the podcast, I assume. So he said his first one of the 4, because the second one is a baseball question for CJ. He says, what do you think will be the first big name to pop in the 2025 class, Hirsch? I know you kind of somebody asked about the Browns not too long ago. So I still ask, maybe it's not the Browns.
Burnell could be. Alfred, the linebacker, is another one that could, or I believe that's his name. Dadgummit. Now my mind's. I didn't get to do enough research on that question, Justin, because I didn't see it. But Brown's as good a guess as any right now. I really.
Or that old lineman, I think that Billy Nate. I can't remember his name either. I think he's a 5-star.
I'm not counting any offensive lineman as the first commit.
The only reason I brought him up because
we can't start on a hot note with offensive line. You know
because Billy is recruiting him himself. He said, "Forget it. I can't remember his name."
Well, if Billy gets him, then Billy's doing all the offensive line recruiting from now on.
That's the last thing I saw. That Billy
said, I'm going to get him. You guys coach him.
He put his Thanos glove on. And said, "I'll do it myself."
Exactly. That's what I saw. That he's going after this guy himself. So that I can't remember his name, and I apologize for that, Justin. I have that for you next week. All right, CJ, baseball question from Justin. He says, "How many players do you think Florida takes in the baseball transfer portal?"
Okay, so we've got 3 thus far. I definitely see 5 or 6. We've got a lot of guys moving on. I think Kevin O'Sullivan has seen that the transfer portal is a viable option to building a baseball team, especially with as young of a team as he has. We've got some great freshmen coming in for sure, but I mean, if Sully wants to make a run at another national title next year, then definitely going to need some of those more experienced guys. You already got our gentleman from Alabama, Mr. Shelton, which is a great pickup. You take a catcher out of Coastal Carolina and an all-conference pitcher from UCLA. Definitely, I would love to see another high-profile pitcher. Texas Tech just had a high-profile pitcher enter the portal today. I would love to see make a run at him for sure. Mr. Billy Amick is still out there. I know Texas has come up in that recruitment as well with us to try to get him out of the portal, which, again, if Billy is able to pull if Sully is able to pull Mr. Amick, that would be a massive coup for him to go along with Mr. Stoneman Douglas, who's the perfect game pitcher of the year. So if he makes it to campus, that's kind of the one bad problem when it comes to recruiting at such a high level in baseball. A lot of the time you have really great recruits and they get drafted and they go play professional baseball. So it's a great problem to have. But I think 5 or 6 is definitely a number that I would look at the portal, maybe even more.
All right. Third from this is second to last. He says, "Who do you guys think our best chance to flip in for the 2024 recruiting, Hirsch?"
Right now, flip.
Jeremiah Smith. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not saying it. I'm gonna put Chance Robinson as the number 1 flip guy right now. I really think that just because he put out a tweet with a lock emoji isn't quite the same. Now, if you remember last year when we started to get some traction with a few guys from Miami, Mario had him send out the tweet, "I'm 100% committed to the Canes, blah, blah, blah." I mean, it was almost copy and paste. It wasn't edits like our department has made for these guys, but it was just this long tweet that they all put out within like 48 hours of each other. Chance Robinson comes off his visit and just puts a lock emoji. I ain't buying it. I'm going to just go ahead and say that right now. But I also wanted to double back, Justin, and give you an answer on that commit that kid that I thought could be the first of the 2025 class. And that's Tarvos Alford from he's a linebacker from Vero Beach. He's been to Gainesville like 5 or 6 times in the last few months. He's been on campus a ton. He's number 140 in the early composite of 247 for the 25 recruiting class. So that's the kid that I think could possibly be that first kid to pop.
All right. CJ, this is the last one. Hirsch, you can probably jump on this one if you want to as well. Because I got a funny answer for this one. He says, "Who is the fan that you despise?" He didn't really say despise. He said you dislike or hate from a rival fan base on Twitter.
Who is a specific one?
Yeah. I'm going to jump you on the line right here. TJ Pittiger, FSU. He's a piece of shit. Thank you. Have a nice day.
It's between if I'm going to put one out there, it's probably Athens Steve. I don't like him at all. Athens Steve is definitely one that I would put out there. What's the guy with he's got he's the Florida State guy. Is it Big Noel? Is that his name?
Yeah,
something like that. I know who you're talking about.
Like a really,
I don't think you can say.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I don't think he can say it either. But that's just.
Oh yeah, there are rumors that he might not be what he
might not be able
to be.
That dude is ridiculous. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to say any names, but there's probably some people in our fan base I dislike more than
that's why I was going with it.
Hunter Wellman.
My guy is TD Gator 09 or whatever.
Oh God, dude!
Whatever his crap name is, man. TD
God
Gator.
forbid we update the stadium. God forbid.
Yeah.
God forbid we catch on with everybody else. Jesus, whatever.
Well, that's it for me, Hers.
We have our own characters, but yeah, that answer came real quick for me. But a lot of people I know don't like that individual either and think he's a piece of crap personally. So anyway, enough about that. Let's get on to some fun stuff, guys. Community question of the week. In honor of our nation's independence, we asked the real hard-hitting questions.
That's right. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty.
What is the best 4th of July food? What is your go-to on 4th of July? And no, tequila shots doesn't count. I'm sorry. So, we didn't have a ton of answers. I'm sure most of y'all, when we drop this, were probably eating.
Yeah.
Gator Lyle, hot dog, hamburgers, always a go-to. Hey, you're right. Richard Denise, have a hot dog. JC, ribs and burgers. Jay Brutt, baby backs and burgers. Your Gator Bait 88, grilled corn. Now, hey, I'm going to be right with you.
I like some grilled corn.
I love some grilled corn, especially if you get the bicolor corn. I'm going to give y'all a recipe right here on air. Listen.
Oh, man, this is important.
Listen, get you some bicolor corn, not Silver Queen or not yellow, bicolor corn. Put it in a Ziploc bag and put lime juice in that bag with pepper and sea salt and let it soak for about 6 to 8 hours. And you grill that, I promise you, it's going to be the best corn you've had all summer. Hirsch's recipes. We'll be back with more. But that's the one you're getting. That's the one you're getting right now.
This fall, we will be releasing the Respect Our Decision cookbook.
Respect Our Decision cookbook. Yeah.
Grill cookbook.
But hey, I'm telling you right now, rewind it. Listen to me give that recipe. Try it one time. Just try it one time and then drop me some feedback in the comments. Hirsch, I tried that corn. You were right. Holy hell, that was the best corn I've ever had. I know. Thank you. And Lucas said he goes with bratwurst. I ain't never had no bratwurst on 4th of July, but hey, that's up to you, man. If that's what fits your bill. Wes, I know you love. Oh, Wes, you got some Facebook questions. Answers. Go ahead and give those.
Justin Wood had some pulled pork sandwiches, brisket, baked beans, potato salad, and coleslaw. Justin,
Can't never go wrong with brisket. I bet Snell would have answered the same thing if Snell
That's
would.
The whole menu, baby.
Just get rid of the coleslaw, Justin. We good. Terrence Simmons says some burgers and burnt hot dogs. He's burnt hot dogs.
Burn them jokers. I want to taste the carbon.
Gary Taft said anything smoked or grilled, and go Gators. Devin Harris said homemade sugar cookies. Those little devils get my waistline every time. Thomas Johnson is kind of like me, except for the coleslaw. He said all the above. John Thornton said dogs well done. Charlie Sapp said grilled corn on the cob. Joel Cox said ribs, baked beans, burgers, and hot dogs. Homemade ice cream for dessert. Homemade ice cream. Jay Stubbins said ribs. Chris Solis said sweet potato casserole, no pecans, and some collard greens with fatback. Go Gators. Ryan Gordon said
that sounds like Thanksgiving.
Going with the classics, burgers and hot dogs. Theory Biden said, I'm not picky. It's free and I don't have to make it. Then it's the best 4th of July food. I'm with you because that grill was
that man
hot.
just showing up to the cookout, ain't it?
He said, P.S. He'll bring the beer, though. Happy 4th of July, you three, and Gator Nation. So appreciate that, Theory Biden. Mike Newman said, barbecue pulled pork and ribs. Ken Miller said, everything that's been mentioned. Happy 4th. Tim Fonville said, watermelon. Clifford Wine said Nathan's hot dog. Tom Noble said baby fatback. Excuse me, baby
fatback.
The fatback got me thrown. He said baby back ribs, burgers and dogs, and potato salad or fresh cut French fries, coleslaw and watermelon, and being with the one you love. Love that.
That man trying to get some. That man trying to get some points at home. I hear that.
Gene Arnold.
His wife wear it. Watch this.
Yeah, him and his wife. His wife is in the profile picture, man. And Gene Arnold said
watermelon. The
older gentleman loved that watermelon, like, because he said Gene Arnold said watermelon as well. The older gentleman loved the watermelon.
Ain't nothing wrong with a watermelon, especially. I mean, in the South we put a little salt on it, but it is what it is. All right, now Wes, I know you love to grill. I know your boys come over and y'all grill. You've told me many times, especially during the season. We be trying to do the raw recap, and Wes is like, "Hey man, we got to get on the road. I got the boys are coming over. I'm trying to grill." Wes, what do you like to grill on the 4th of July?
Well, I don't grill this, but I love hash and rice. Like I love some good hash.
Oh, you definitely in South Carolina.
Yeah, nobody said anything about hash, so I gotta put that out. Hash is good. But ribs, a slab of ribs. I love a good slab of rib that I put on there with some sauce that I got. That's not mine. I got my own sauce, but my uncle gives me a mason jar full of sauce. It's mustard.
Oh, it's good. It slaps. Is it a mason jar? Come on.
Yeah, it's mustard based because I can do my own tomato base that I did, but that mustard based sauce, I gotta have it for my ribs.
To Carolina, man.
Yeah, man.
That tang, man.
But ribs, I would love some good hash, baked beans. Nobody said double eggs either, but I either potato salad.
On that, dog.
Yeah,
what? Yo, man.
Yeah, man. And I'm good. I mean,
you good? Is that enough?
Yeah, I'm good. That's all. That's
not all. But I mean, I'm just. I can deal. That's good right there.
All right, CJ. If there's anything left on the menu, talk about it. What do you?
Definitely burgers. I like burgers on the 4th of July. I love like smoked meat, but I genuinely save that for the football season. I don't really put that with the 4th of July. Because football, you got a lot of time to just hang and smoke meat all day, watch football. But 4th of July burgers, baked beans, a watermelon. You can't go wrong with that. A lot of people hate on the baked beans. They just don't know how to make baked beans.
Exactly.
They out here just pouring bushes out the can and saying, "Man, I don't like this," and wondering why. That's about like people when they tell me they don't like collard greens. It's like, yeah, you just eating greens and water. That's why you don't like collard greens. But no, definitely baked beans and just that watermelon. You put the watermelon. When I was a kid growing up, we could always be at somebody's house with a pool. So we throw the watermelon in the pool, and by the time it get cold,
he country as hell.
Yep,
yeah.
He country as hell.
We throw the watermelon in the pool. The kids, we out there playing with the damn thing.
He country as hell. Oh my goodness, man! I'm gonna keep it simple. Y'all have all listed so many great foods. I keep it real simple. Every year, I get 2 slabs St. Louis ribs. I make my own sauce. And just slide them babies up. I make my corn that I just told you about. That I'm telling you, try it. You're gonna like it. But yeah, corn and ribs is my go-to. I'm diabetic. I don't eat a whole lot of things, so I try to keep it simple. But I love my ribs, man. My family loves the ribs. They're always like, "Oh, we love the holidays, the summer holidays, because we know you're gonna make them ribs." And my son's gonna walk around.
Gas or charcoal guy?
Oh, I'm a charcoal and a pellet smoker too.
Okay.
I got a Pit Boss pellet smoker.
That's it.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I make macaroni and cheese in a cast iron skillet on a pellet
Forgot about
smoker.
the mac and cheese. We were
I
naming all that
I will
food.
tell you when it comes to baked beans. When it comes to baked beans, if you got the smoker, put the baked beans in the smoker.
My brother taught me how to make everything on a smoker. Man, he uses he bakes shepherd's pie on a pellet smoker, baked beans, mac and cheese. I mean, you name it. That man, he puts his pizza out there on the smoker.
Man, I've had peach cobbler on the smoker, and that stuff is to die for too, man. Well,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, respect our decision cookbook. It's kind of y'all want it. let me know.
The Respect Our Decision cookbook coming soon.
That's
to
right.
an internet near you.
We're gonna set y'all up. We're gonna send you our recipes.
Yeah, recipes.
We'll get Big Snell to write the forward in it for.
Yeah, forwarded by Big Snell. Sponsored by Sonny's.
Deer is good. I can't do anything with deer, so we're gonna have y'all who don't know how to eat deer or cook it.
I can look you up on the deer recipes, but that comes in deer season. Baby. That comes. I make deer recipes in the fall. Like that's
football, baby. Deer chili, baby, in the fall.
Jalapeno cheddar sausage that I make
deer
with
sausage.
deer meat.
Stuff that back.
We gotta stop. I'm hungry as hell. It's late, and now I'm hungry. I already had dinner. Now I want another one. I don't appreciate it. And I want some watermelon, and I don't even have a pool to throw it in.
Yes, that's a problem.
Only thing I don't want is any baby fatback, but
baby fatback.
Yeah, we'll go watch some Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers.
That's right.
No
cussing on this program.
Put that fat back in the lima beans or them collard greens, man. I'm with you, man. Don't let the boys get on you about the fat. I love the fat.
All right, guys.
Back, baby.
Man, we appreciate y'all so much. We love doing this show so much because of this right here, man. Y'all make us talk about all this. We laugh. Like I said, we throwing out recipes on the program. Y'all gonna be messaging me, Hershey, tell me about some of that deer sausage. And I will. Just message me, man. I don't care. All right, guys. We appreciate it so much, as always, each and every week. Y'all just keep those questions coming. Y'all keep those comments coming. Look out next week for the new community question. I don't know what it will be. CJ will come up with something random and he'll post it, and we'll just be laughing again next week, just like this week. But as always, guys, as you know, Pod of the People is a YouTube exclusive show. If you've made it this far, or you just catching us for the first time, do us a favor if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a like on the video. Leave us a question or a comment down below. And, man, hit that notification bell, man, so you get a notification every time we drop new content. We drop 2 episodes a week. Season's coming up fast. Going to be a lot of stuff coming, guys. We appreciate you. Thank you as always. And go Gators.
Go Gators, baby.
Go Gators and get some hash.
Get some hash.
Get some of that fat back.